Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively legal saga continues, and after we've already broken down the complaints and the responses right now.
This is going to be Lively's attempt to recast what's going on here, to bring the narrative back to her side and hopefully get some sympathy from people, because right now she's losing 90%, I would say. Zach, do you agree with that? And what about Taylor Swift? I mean, the silence is deafening. Hasn't she stood up for other female artists in the past under similar circumstances, and now we're just not hearing anything?
One half of the most popular celebrity power couple and Hollywood's golden girl fashion symbol, Blake Lively, is currently embroiled in a scandal that could ruin her career.
There were two things that I wanted. I wanted the media and observers to know that a lot of us have a problem with Blake Lively and what she has done to an innocent man. And so I knew that she was going to be getting a lot of love in the media for this big new premiere. And I just wanted someone to be out there at the premiere holding up the sign, standing up for Justin Baldoni and calling Blake Lively out for what she has done.
Here's what citizen journalists had to say. Today, while the public is screaming to be heard on our distaste for this person, Blake Lively, and on a day where she had a perfectly reasonable and very public excuse to make a pass of walking this red carpet, Blake Lively walked a red carpet populated entirely of approved fans, vetted journalists, and media-prepped co-stars. Oh, sorry, you guys can't read all this. Media-vetted co-stars who are all there on the condition that they play by Blake Lively's rules and may not have all the answers on why Blake has the stranglehold on Hollywood that has motivated so many to bend over backwards to do her bidding. But even without the why, the what is plain as day. Blake Lively is the powerful one. Stop thinking you can sell this lie to us. Now, I completely agree that Blake Lively is the powerful one. I don't know if there was some coordinated effort to not talk about this, other than all of the PR are going to say, don't talk about this.
There are rumors that she used fabricated evidence against actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni in court. Yes, you heard correctly. What began as a legal disagreement has turned into a full-fledged courtroom drama with surprising disclosures, leaked documents, and charges that have the potential to completely alter the course of events.
Imagine, even when we do filings that are not public celebrity cases, you kind of go back and forth about the wording, make sure that you have what you need. But here, they're filing it for an ulterior motive. It's really not for the court. It's for public consumption. So I can imagine that it's not just the lawyers that have to review these complaints or amended complaint. It's all the PR people. It's the agents. It's probably Ryan Reynolds.
So brace up. This is going to get crazy. Is Blake actually responsible for this, or is she being set up in a larger Hollywood power struggle?
Explosive legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. New text messages reveal shocking behind-the-scenes drama, from Blake Lively's alleged push to control the film's edit to these apparent mentions of Taylor Swift and even a weight discussion. These text messages paint a very different story than what Lively has publicly claimed.
According to people familiar with the matter, let's begin at the beginning. According to information submitted by Blake's legal team, Justin Baldoni engaged in unlawful acts such as money laundering and unethical financial dealings.
Working on it, and I'm sure they're wordsmithing everything at this point in time. They've probably got a team of lawyers and paralegals and everybody pulling together everything. I personally don't think it's going to be a whole lot different than the original complaint that's out there. It's going to be a story that's going to be told to the public at large, and it's supposed to hopefully address some of the PR failures that they've had in this, including Saturday Night with Ryan Reynolds on SNL. But I think it's still going to be the same, that she made complaints. They were ignored, and then when finally they got tired of hearing these complaints from her, they retaliated against her, and that's going to be the theme. It's still going to be there, but it's just going to have a lot more facts in it. I think Baldoni's crew got out in front of this more quickly. The text messages that they put together and put out and filed in the court, the way they read is like a novel. It's devastating, and so this is going to be Lively's attempt to recast what's going on here, to bring the narrative back to her side and hopefully get some sympathy from people, because right now she's losing 90%, I would say. Zach, do you agree with that?
Email threads, text messages, and financial records were among the purported evidence that linked him to dubious activities, but here's the catch. Cybersecurity specialists have stepped in and pointed out discrepancies in the email's information, while forensic experts claim the papers were created using sophisticated software. A few timestamps don't match, and the formatting seems to have been altered. Even AI detection tools have hinted that deepfake technology may have been used to create some of the text messages.
WME fired Justin is a huge cause for a lot of the damages that he's now suffering, including the loss of his Pac-Man movie and deals that Wayfair had. What are the real ramifications of this? And does it help that there's now actual audio of it?
I mean, I think, Andy, I think this rises to the level of what we'd almost call a smoking gun. And you know, what you're trying to prove in the defamation case is that you actually suffered damages related to whatever you were defamed about or whatever was mistruth about you. And sometimes that's a hard nexus to prove. It's going to be hard nexus for Lively to prove that her skincare line tanked because of the negative publicity. And it was going to be hard for Baldoni to show that any comments that were made about him, since he's been doing so well in the PR war, actually affected the damages. But what I think we're seeing now with this quote is WME absolutely got rid of him because of these things that were said. And so now he's got a clear line to get damage support.
Fans are divided. Some people think this is an intentional attempt to ruin Justin's career, while others question whether Blake was duped by one of her lawyers. However, if the proof is phony, who stands to gain the most? Let's investigate more.
So a big issue from Blake Lively's team is that, they were okay with the website going up as far as the amended complaint goes. Now, when it came to that timeline, they actually wanted that timeline to be incorporated with the complaint as far as going into that paragraph form, because they kind of explained that this was all their side of the story. This was one-sided. But, when you have receipts, proofs, timeline, facts, text messages, all this stuff to kind of counter the claims that, your client has put forth, it's kind of hard to kind of diminish that a little bit as far as, what is the possible jury pool going to see, before they're getting called for this case. And that, of course, we know that the trial is going to be slated for next year. They're going to keep that, date of next year, even though the judge kind of mentioned a little bit that he might be interested in pushing that date forward, because it seems like everyone across the board just wants a resolve. Everyone across the board is claiming, with their respective parties that they have been either emotionally or financially damaged by everything that's going on, whether it's Blake and Ryan Reynolds, who, again, we have to stress, Ryan Reynolds was not even a part of the It Ends With Us movie. Again, there's a lot of conspiracies, kind of what role he plays a little bit right now, but just sticking to the facts here. Whereas, Baldoni's team, they're being accused of sexual harassment, all this types of things. So it's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of kind of mess. It's kind of giving you a little eeriness of what had happened with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. But again, this isn't a criminal case. This is not a criminal matter. No one's going to jail. This is a civil matter. So I think as far as the resolve goes, could we all argue that there's been damage to every single party involved? Absolutely.
This is where things become even more complicated. With the assistance of forensic analysts, Justin's legal team dissected the alleged evidence because they weren't going to let these claims stand alone. As you might expect, they quickly discovered significant inconsistencies. For instance, one of the emails that were used as proof included a font that wasn't in use when the email was purportedly sent, another text message was linked to an IP address in a different nation than Justin's at the time, and finally, the biggest bombshell, an unnamed former Blake's legal team employee came forward and said they were under pressure to create the proof in screenshots that were shared. This whistleblower showed internal correspondence about how to make the case against
not do their proper due diligence. And most recently, we had a court hearing this past week where the judge had to work out the scheduling and procedure of the case, a trial currently set for March of 2026, but also he admonished and warned both sides, really the lawyers, to be very cautious about what public comments they make about this case, to not say anything that could potentially taint a future jury. And that's important because for Brian Friedman especially, this is Justin Baldoni's attorney, he has been fighting this in the public just as much as in legal filings, seemingly creating a website filled with extra correspondence, releasing behind-the-scenes footage, constantly talking about the case on podcasts and
Blake's entire case is now in jeopardy when Justin's legal team promptly asked the court to reject the fraudulent charges. But is she the mastermind behind everything, or was she set up by someone else?
Lively's strongest claims as backed up by evidence. You see the allegation that she was the victim of a smear campaign, and she says she's got the text messages to prove it. So particularly the messages between Baldoni and Melissa Nathan, his crisis management expert, and Jennifer Abel, his publicist. So I want to go to her complaint. Her complaint reads, on August 16th, Miss Nathan circulated a Daily Mail article entitled String of Hard-to-Watch Videos That Have Surfaced Following Tone-Deaf Q&A to promote It Ends With Us Could Tarnish 36-year-old star's golden Hollywood image for good. To which Abel responded, wow, you really outdid yourself with this piece. And Miss Nathan replied, that's why you hired me, right? I'm the best. As their own words reveal, the purpose of this social manipulation plan was twofold. It aimed to both conceal the pattern of harassment and other misconduct by Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and Wayfarer, and retaliate against Miss Lively by battering her image, harming her businesses, and causing her and her family severe emotional harm. Millions of people, including many reporters and influencers who saw these planted stories, social media posts, and other online content, had no idea they were unwitting consumers of a crisis PR, astroturfing, and digital retaliation campaign created and funded by Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer to hurt Miss Lively. That is precisely the goal of astroturfing campaign, to light the fire and continue to stoke conversation secretly, blurring the line between authentic and manufactured content and creating viral public taste.
Hollywood is talking about this scandal, and some of Blake's famous pals are supporting her while others are remaining suspiciously quiet. Interview. Although Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, has not yet made a public statement, people close to the marriage claim he supports her because he thinks she has been duped.
I've got the protester, what the protester had to say, and why this article says Anna Kendrick delivered a shady response about reuniting with Blake Lively for another Simple Favor premiere. I'm going to let you guys decide if it's shady or not, okay? So stick around for that. Here it is. This is Blake arriving. No florals in sight. But she's there. I mean, at the premiere. Now, what you can see is behind these barracks back here is the normal fans, and then I believe these are the pre-approved fans, people that know her, that have worked with her, people that are vetted. Because I don't think they want any of the public going near her, and I don't blame them. You know what I mean? Like, this is just the way it is. But then again, there are people out there that want to know what everyone really thinks about this case that's happening. It's one of the most bizarre cases in entertainment news, and this is one of the first times Blake has kind of done anything.
However, Chrissy Teigen, who seldom holds back when expressing her thoughts, tweeted, "If this is real, it's a big yikes." On the other hand, legal teams in Hollywood are crazy.
This one. Remember this one? Right when the scandal was really breaking and he was like, everything's fine. All my fans have the exact same photo with the exact same blue tape, and not one of the members of all the press here are asking me one question about the big scandal involving my wife and Justin Baldoni. This is weird. Not at all.
Asked Leonardo DiCaprio about it at a recent event, he reportedly said, "Hollywood is full of smoke and mirrors. Don't believe everything you hear." Tyler Perry, who has previously worked with Justin Baldoni, also stated, "I've known Justin for years. This just doesn't add up. He's a solid guy." Kim Kardashian, a law student, also had an interesting perspective on cases like this, which made me wonder who's really behind the scenes pulling the strings.
At this point, they're fighting over subpoenas. They're talking over what needs to be subpoenaed, what can be subpoenaed, and then now they're going over who is being protected. As you know, officially, Blake Lively was asking for 2.5 years of subpoenas of private text messages, and etc. But she herself was asking for a protective order because she didn't want her famous friends, etc. I mean, I'm basically breaking it down for you guys. She didn't want her famous friends to be exposed, and some of the witnesses, perhaps. So it says, as the Lively and Baldoni legal teams continue to squabble over the scope of subpoenas to telecom companies and what has become a $400 million and counting matter, the actress...
If you enjoyed juicy Hollywood drama, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notify button. If you think there's more to the tale, please share your opinions in the comments section below. Bell to ensure you don't miss any updates.